Well, that was very nice. A gentleman just pulled over in his van and asked if we wanted this box of treats because they're too big for his dog and his dog won't eat them. And so I said, yeah, we'd love to have them. So these are, they're milk bone, which is what Lefty already eats. There you go. Yeah, he'll make quick work of these, huh? Huh. So very nice gentleman. That was really nice of him. As he saw Lefty kind of pulling me. Dude, what? You get one? Oh, he likes them. Excellent. He saw Lefty yank me and start pulling me the wrong direction. So that's, he said, that looks like a dog that could use some big treats. Whoa, whoa. Hold on. You gotta wait for your old man here. Dude. Hi everyone. We're just out walking around this morning. Quite a crisp morning. I think it's only supposed to get up to the low 50s today. Very chilly day, but at least it's sunny. So I'm thankful for that. That is one of the bigger trees that you'll see around here. Very green though. Everything this year, very green. Another big one. Up here. I wanted to share a story with everyone. When we first arrived here in Quartzsite, you know, a number of weeks ago, it was still very warm, hot. So my friends down at where they're camped, you know, it's 200 yards from our truck, but down kind of at the end of this area that we're in. So they were camped down there, and one day they were telling me that there was a young couple, husband and wife, that were on past Tara and Dottie's camp, and they were kind of up in the tree area. All they had was a small little tent. They had no food, no water, nothing to cook with, nothing. They were up there with nothing. There you go. So these two were down there with really nothing, and it was hot. It was, you know, we were in the low 90s, and they were, you know, basically up there just kind of scooched up under a little tree with no infrastructure at all to take care of themselves. So I guess they had come walking out of their area up to where Tar and Dottie were, and of course the two of them said, you know, here, they gave them food, water, milk. They gave them some cooking pans, a wok, a little I forget the name of it, but a little stove that you can have a cooking fire with some wood. They gave them all kinds of stuff to help them. And so over a few days, Tara and Dottie were helping these two out and kind of filling me in on what was going on each day when Lefty and I would walk down there to hang out. And then after a few days, the tone changed a little bit. They'd figured out that these two had a broke down truck that they said was down the road a little ways. They said that they had a mechanic coming on Thursday. They kept saying that. And of course, Thursday came and went. No mechanic, no running truck, you know, so that was kind of odd. And so I was down there one day, and the two of them, or at least the girl, came out, and they were, you know, I'm gonna say mid-20s, maybe mid to later 20-year-old. And the girl came out, and so I was questioning her on like what's wrong with the truck and where is it and what do you got going on. And then it changed from, oh, there's a mechanic coming, it changed to, oh, we just ran out of gas. So at this point, it had become tiresome, I think, to Tara and Dottie to take care of these two. They were, you know, I mean, Dottie was offering to hook them up with a church group that would help to get them on their feet, but they would have to make some calls and do some setup to get this done, and they weren't willing to do that. They basically were just accepting anything that Tara and Dottie would give them without doing anything to help themselves. So when I was having this conversation with them about their truck and that it needed gas, I remember it was on a Saturday we were talking, and I said, well, on Monday I'm going to go into town and I can take my 2-gallon gas can and put gas in it. And side note, they had no money. I think they had a $5 bill they kept offering, you know, we've got $5 they would offer for this or that. And of course, everybody said, no, keep your $5. So I told them on Monday I would go and get gas, and then that I would drive them up to their truck. Lefty, leave it. I hate when people do this. It's a dog poop bag out here in the middle of nowhere. I guess it's good that they want to scoop up their dog poop, but then they leave the bag. I see that quite often. I don't know what the disconnect is. You put the poop in the bag and then you take the bag with you. You don't just leave the bag. I don't know if they need to put instructions on the bag, but okay. So anyways, told them I would take them up the street with the gas that they could get their truck going. But in the meantime, before Monday came, a friend of ours, and you saw him in a previous video, he had the side-by-side, and we helped pull that one woman out of the sand in her van. So he said, he came by and he said, yeah, I'll do it right now. He said, I've got a gas can with gas already in it. So he went over, got his gas can, got the young guy in his side-by-side, and they drove off down the road to get their truck. And then, sure enough, a short time later, we hear this terrible sounding vehicle coming down the road. Now, mind you, this is, you know, like one car every half an hour down this road. So when something's coming, you can really hear it coming from far away. And this thing sounded like it sounded like it was running, and then like the ignition was cutting out, so it was like as it was coming down the road. And it was this young guy in this little pickup truck. It was like an old, like a Isuzu pickup truck, one of those kind of things, running like absolute you know, dog shit. Barely made it. And every time I could tell that he would push the clutch in, like when he was coasting in to turn into the area we were in. As soon as he pushed the clutch in, the engine went like revved, like it sounded like it was going to explode. But he made it back over there to their campsite, and sure enough, him and his girl there, they packed up and they left. So I was talking with my friend there, I'll call him B, in the side-by-side. He said that when they were driving down to put gas in their truck, that the young guy had said, hey, can I borrow $40? And B said, well, how are you going to pay me back? You know, you don't have any way to pay me back. And the guy said, well, how about my wife for the night? And he said, you know, no thanks, that's not my thing, no thank you. And the guy's like, well, yeah, okay, you know, I just wanted to check and see. And so, you know, basically trying to sell his wife's ass for $40 for whatever. So again, they came back, they packed up and they left. Well, after they left, all the stories started coming out about those two. The girl had a medical condition, and that's what really, I think that was they kind of played on that. One day, I was sitting down there, and here she came, and, you know, Tara's like, hey, how you doing? And she's like, not good, I'm having a seizure. And so, Dottie is from the medical field, so Dottie immediately started asking her some questions. She said, do you want me to call the ambulance? So she did. Dottie called the ambulance. The ambulance came. There they are. They got 3 response vehicles up there. They were here in under 10 minutes. And the ambulance decided not to take her. We all kind of discussed this over, and the thought was that maybe they were looking for a way to get a ride to the neighboring town where the hospital would be, and, you know, a clean bed and some food and all of that. But the ambulance didn't feel it necessary to take her. And it wasn't just the ambulance, it was the ambulance and, I don't know, 3 other support vehicles that showed up. I mean, they are set up out here this time of the year to really take care of all of us that are camped out here outside of town. So they don't take it lightly. They really respond whenever there's a call. But they didn't take her, didn't feel that she needed it. So the 2 of them kind of skulked back into their camp back there, into their area, and kind of you know, and like I said, once the truck got fixed, they took off. And then there were reports of them up in town panhandling. You know, I was like, what the heck are these 2 doing out here? 90+ degree weather in the middle of Arizona desert with no food, no water, and no money, and a truck out of gas. I mean, what the heck? I could not do something like that. My mind, my inner structure would not allow me to get myself into a situation like that, because I can't live that, like, sporadically, where you don't even know where your next drink of water is coming from. I couldn't do that. And I mean, God bless them for surviving, but really scary that they were out there. But I think the general consensus was that they were just out here trying to ruffle money and support off of people as much as they could, and that they had no real goal or target or desire to take care of themselves. They were just looking for handouts or to trade for money, which was really disheartening to hear. And once we all heard that, everybody was like, oh, they're, you know, no, we need to warn everybody about these 2. And again, this is when we first got here, so this is a number of weeks ago now. But that, again, I share stories that are occurrences that are so far removed from what my life used to be. Those are the kind of stories that I like to share with all of you, as kind of a, You know, you talk about a swing in life and experiences. That's the kind of stuff that again, didn't happen in Henrietta, New York, and kind of only happens out here. And I like sharing these kind of stories with all of you, just so you get more of a sense of what's going on out here. Now, the most of the people that we come across out here are really great people. You know, just regular old folks. There are some fringe people out here that are definitely on the edges of societal norms, and there are people that are way out there, but the majority of people, percentage-wise, are just regular old folks out here living their lives. And this time of year, there's a lot of people that come out here just for the winter. They're not permanent full-timers, or maybe they are full-timers, but they travel down here from the northern states or from Canada, and they spend the winter down here, and then when the winter's over, they leave. And those folks are pretty well set up. That's where a lot of the Class A's towing the big giant matching color trailer with the $25,000 side-by-side in it, and that's what those folks normally are. They're the professional snowbirds. You know, they come down here for 5 months in the same spot, and then they leave after the winter weather is done. And those kind of people, you know, those are just regular old folks, just like you'd meet anywhere in the country or in the world. Now let me share, now that I'm thinking of it, I got another story. This just happened just several days ago. My friends that are camped nearby me, actually the woman that we pulled her van out of the sand, you know, she's very close to us, distance-wise. So there was someone that showed up, a woman in a minivan that set up her little camp kind of close over to this friend that I just mentioned. So between my camp and her camp was this woman that showed up. And just in a minivan, very small setup. So one morning, Lefty and I went out, started our walk, and we always go the same way to start to get out of our camp area. So we're walking down the road and we're passing by this woman in her minivan, and she said something to me and I couldn't hear, there was wind, so I kind of tilted my head and I said, "What's that?" And she said, "Can you walk your dog somewhere else so you're not near me and my dog?" And I just turned my head and kept walking. Just as I got up closer to my friend's van, she just happened to be out walking her little dog, and she came up to me and we were chatting. I said, "Hey, is that your friend over there?" And she said, "Kinda." We met through Facebook, and she just kind of came by to say hi, and she's like, "Why?" And I said, "Well, she just told me to go walk my dog somewhere else, not near her." and my friend's like, "You walk your dog wherever the heck you want to walk your dog." And I said, "Well, it's kind of what I'm feeling." And so in subsequent days, we continued to walk that way because that's the road to get to the area that we wanted to go. So we're just, and another guy who's camped nearby there, he caught me the next morning and said, "Hey, I heard you had someone ask you to go walk somewhere else." And I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "You walk your dog wherever the heck you want," because he's set up with a big camp right there with a bunch of friends and, you know, a whole slew of rigs. And he's like, "You walk your dog anywhere." I said, "Well, it's kind of what I'm feeling." And I said to him, I said, what gets into a person's mind where they think it's okay to say something like that to someone? You know, I don't know this woman, never even said hi to her because she had just really shown up there the day before that. So the first thing out of her mouth is, as a new person arriving at an area, "Hey, can you change what you're doing for my convenience?" You know, blows my mind. Really blows my mind. And in fact, that day that she said that, her dog was just kind of laying there sleeping. And only once I said something back to her, when I said, "What's that?" to her, that's when her dog got up and started barking. If she hadn't said anything to me and I hadn't replied, I think her dog would have just kept right on sleeping. So then every morning when Lefty and I walked by there, her dog would bark at us. And she never said anything more to me after that. And she's gone. I think she left yesterday. So she was only here like maybe a week. So this happened like a week ago. But it's, so there's another kind of person that we come across out here. The entitled, I just call that like totally out of touch. I mean, how could you, that's why I say, how could you even think that that's an okay thing to say to somebody? If someone is, I show up to a new camp and there's something going on that I don't like, I move or I put up with it. But I'm not going to go to them and say, hey, can you change what you're doing? Crazy time, you know? So again, most people are great folks out here, but you get some oddballs. What do you guys think? Is it right to show up to a new area and then ask someone to walk their dog somewhere else for your convenience? What do you guys think about that? Put it down in the comments. I think I know what y'all are going to say, but I'd like to hear. Maybe I'm missing something because it is such a far out there thing to say. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. So put it down in the comments. Thanks everybody for coming along on our walk this morning and listening to story time. I appreciate y'all being here. Everybody take care, be safe, and we'll see y'all again really soon.